Then again, Jason Voorhees becomes like an undead, like zombie killer or something like that. So, I guess that you could probably buy the fact that he's just somehow magically getting around. You could probably buy that a lot more. But yeah, if there is one major difference between the Friday the 13th and the Halloween series, it's that Friday the 13th made the camp setting in a lot of slasher movies incredibly popular. You know, the whole thing, whereas Halloween sort of sticks more to the whole suburban setting that, that's sort of the one thing that makes it very unique. And that's the one thing that makes Friday the 13th also unique is the sort of the great outdoors, sort of national park camp setting that several other horror movies would take after.
Yep, like what was it, like Camp Sleepaway?
Yeah, or Camp Blood, which is ironically enough named after the campsite in the first Halloween, not Halloween, Friday the 13th movie. Oh yeah, and you also got a Cabin Fever.
Oh yes, we can't forget about Cabin Fever with that little with that little retarded girl just screaming fucking pancakes and doing like roundhouse kicks and stuff in the air, all to
Yeah,
just bite a guy on the finger.
that was funny. I don't care what anybody says.
It's so stupid.
It's stupid, but it's funny. It's hilarious.
It's just like, if you want pancakes, then just sit there and go to the Waffle House. Don't bite somebody's finger. Uh, it, I realize that me and Ian are just like dicking around at this point, but still, it's like,
Yeah,
you,
but I mean, you know what? Do you really feel the desire to talk about the third Halloween movie? Because that's actually pretty controversial.
oh, God, why did you have to mention that to me? Why? Why? Why?
Stop
Where's my
it.
hori-kori knife?
Stop
Why?
it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Let me let me and Ian explain this piece of shit to y'all. This was the third in this series, yet Michael Myers was not fucking in it at all. You know what the
Well,
plot of it was? You know what the plot of it was, boys and girls? It was about a corporate businessman who was apparently part of a secret cult that was trying to resurrect Satan's asshole, and that apparently in one particular scene, he puts a suburban family in a little glass plexiglass box still, and then apparently there's this infomercial that sends subliminal radio messages that apparently cause kids to apparently, if they're wearing the special little pumpkin head, hat or whatever, while this commercial's on, apparently these kids have like a seizure, and then apparently their head crumples, and then like rats and like pythons and snakes and cockroaches and like evil like potato mush and shit just all come out of their head at once.
yeah, and they just fucking die. Yeah, it's definitely a weird ass movie, but to be perfectly honest, the reason why it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, I can actually sort of explain this, is that the Halloween series after number 2, which completely wrapped up the Michael Myers story, the Halloween series was sort of meant to be like a horror anthology series, kind of like the movie Creepshow, where it's like every movie would just be a completely different Halloween-themed story. Like, none of the movies really had anything to do with each other. They were all just completely different Halloween-themed stories and tales that were just sort of meant to be kind of like that, kind of like Tales from the Crypt, or like I said before, Creepshow. But the movie failed miserably, like both critically and financially, and because of that, everybody was bitching about the fact that Michael Myers wasn't in it. It's like, who are all these characters? Where's Michael Myers at? That's what everybody wanted to see was Michael Myers.
Why does this plot line suck? Why did that kid die in such a really retarded and gruesome manner?
Yeah, why is Tom Atkins yelling on that phone? He's just yelling, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And then it's like, everybody's Halloween, 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 and then it's Halloween and Silver Shamrock. And you just have that fucking infomercial playing constantly, and it gets on your nerves.
Anybody ever seen that flash of like that one guy's typing the keyboards, then his fingers are gone, then he smashes his face in on the keyboard? Yeah, that's pretty much me and Ian after watching that movie.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Seriously, that's the kind of movie that gives Freddy Krueger nightmares. And that's saying something.
Yeah, that movie was just fucking weird as hell.
It makes you literally want to rip your own head off and shove it up your ass just so you don't have to look at it ever again.
Yeah, it's like I can understand what they were doing, but the execution of it was just so terrible. It was so incoherent. It was so nothing made. There was no sense. There was no logic to the whole plot of that movie.
In the words of that one deal that you have in your favorites on your channel, shame on you. Now you get to watch My Little Pony.
Yeah, exactly.
I would you know what? Every time I see a clip from that scene, I have to watch My Little Pony or something happy and frilly. Otherwise, I'm gonna want to like shoot squirrels with a BB gun.
Yeah.
It's that bad. It's so bad that it creates its own new like swear word.
Yeah. The only real good thing I can say about Halloween 3 is that John Carpenter comes back and he does the music again. But that's really about it. I've seen Tom Atkins. I thought he was a lot more dignified than that, but I guess not.
Apparently, and I swear to you, Halloween 3 is one of the only movies where I made the James Rolfe face. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about and haven't watched the Angry Video Game Nerd videos, watch those. You'll know the angry face that I'm talking about.
Yeah. And pretty much all the other movies throughout the Halloween series would focus completely on Michael Myers. And that would just be the thing. Like, they would just completely milk the whole franchise with nothing but like Michael Myers after Michael Myers after Michael Myers.
And the interesting and the ironic thing about it is that there have been many spoofs about Michael Myers. Like the most famous is the Robot Chicken sketch, where he's just sitting there all throughout the year till it's like Halloween, just to kill the teenagers.
Yeah.
And and so pretty much it's funny because Michael Myers started out as just a small time independent like horror movie character, and now he's become literally one of the most iconic like slasher horror movie characters aside from Freddy and Jason and Leatherface,
and like Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman and the Phantom of the Opera. And yeah, like Michael Myers has become one of the most famous horror movie characters of all time. And of course I guess at some point we have to address the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Yep, and kind of all the continuities and retcons that they did with that.
Well, if there's one good thing I can say about the Rob Zombie Halloween movies, is that they didn't choose to stick with the unbelievably retarded subplot that was in the 6th Halloween movie, where apparently Michael Myers is a victim of a is actually being manipulated by an evil cult that apparently every 600 years or so they try to influence a certain person to murder their whole family or some reason so that they can appease their pagan gods or some stupid retarded bullshit like that. I'm glad that Rob Zombie didn't go that route, but I don't know. I don't know how you feel about them, Steve, but to me, I kind of feel that like zombies Halloween movies are kind of like overindulgence or something. Like they just don't really. I just don't really view them as being anywhere near decent or good or anything.
Well, I think what really kind of makes the Rob Zombie Halloween movies at least good in some aspect is that, you know, it's pretty much the predominance of them explaining, you know, kind of Mike's background, but as we said in the very, very first part of this video, it's like, really, he just got bullied and abused and like cock teased by his sister and stuff, like normal shit that we go through every day. That's what made him snap.
Yeah,
it's like that's good, but at the same time it's like, he killed people that cared about him. Basically the whole point of Michael Myers, I guess, in that movie is that, oh, well, if somebody's even slightly betrayed him or forgot about him or anything, they had to die. It is, to hear my mother explain the whole movie was actually quite funny, because she described it as this: he killed the guy that basically took care of him. Killed him horribly. His mother left him to rot in the asylum. She had to die. His older sister was being a bitch to him. She had to die.
And also,
his stepfather beat him.
Yeah.
He had to die.
Also, one major problem I had with the second Rob Zombie Halloween movie is that okay, they established the fact, just like in the original Halloween 2, that Laurie Strode is actually Michael Myers, Michael Myers' adopted sister, but in the flashbacks of Rob Zombie's first Halloween movies, we never even see her as in the family. We never even see her as a part of the Myers family. It's like, what the fuck? How are you going to establish that she's his sister if we never even saw them interact with each other at all?
Oh, but see, they established that she was the baby. Or that allegedly there was a baby that got adopted much, much later. It's like, what?
Okay. Well, we never saw that. I mean, all we saw was like Michael's mother, who's played by Sherry Moon Zombie, who's apparently a stripper. We just see her like crying to like old film projector images of her and her son. We just see her shoot herself. It's like, oh, that's real cheerful.
And then apparently, I think what really kind of intrigues me is that, Rob Zombie wanted to create a very like dark homage to Carpenter's movie, and I can see what Rob Zombie tried to do with the first film, but it didn't really kind of live up, especially as a homage piece. And the interesting thing is that so many people fucking demanded that he do a second movie, and he didn't even want to do a sequel. He just wanted to do one, because he knew he wasn't going to live up to John Carpenter's original. But no, everybody was like, oh, you got to do a second one, you got to do a second one. Then we got a second one, and guess what? It sucked worse than the first one.
Yes, it did. It was terrible.
And you know what? Rob Zombie just basically looked at all the people that wanted the sequel, and he goes, okay, here's your movie.
Yeah. I swear to you. Yeah, but that definitely emphasizes the fact that, no matter how old he is, people still absolutely love the Halloween movies and Michael Myers, even to this day. Because they just they constantly want to see more of Michael Myers, more of him going around slowly killing people.
more of him killing people with inanimate objects that are conveniently placed around, like Jason.
Yeah.
Uh,
Know what shit is.
I mean, it's like, compared to Freddy and Leatherface, well, like, Leatherface is literally Michael Myers' only rival in terms of the human, quote-unquote, like, horror movie characters. It's like, Michael Myers, as I think, as a horror movie icon, it's like, when you have an icon like that, and it's the same with Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, and all the other horror movie, like, icons. There's only a certain amount of movies that you can do with the character that are going to be good before, you start just making movies just for the fuck of it. And then eventually some of them just get a little out of hand. Like, what was it? We had Halloween H2O, and then we had Halloween Resurrection, and next thing you know, we're going to have, Halloween, the butt crack of, Eve or something like that.
Actually, Halloween H2O, that was sort of meant to be the ultimate capper to the whole series because Jamie Lee Curtis comes back as Laurie Strode, and she's all grown up. She's like a principal at a school now, but then Michael Myers sort of comes back. And also another interesting thing about H2O is that it completely ignores all of the other Halloween sequels in the whole series, including Halloween 2, which was actually meant to take place exactly where the first movie left off, but I digress. In Halloween H2O, Laurie Strode basically completely exacts her revenge on Michael Myers. Hardcore, man. She makes sure that Michael Myers stays dead because in the final scene, she defeats Michael Myers and she supposedly kills him, but then they all take Michael Myers to they all put Michael Myers in an ambulance, and then we all know what's going to happen. He's going to wake up. He's going to kill the drivers. But then Laurie Strode, she just comes out with a gun and she holds the ambulance driver at gunpoint and says, "No, fuck you. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to make sure he dies." And she just hijacks the ambulance. She knocks Michael Myers out, and she just rams him into a tree. She takes a fire axe and she fucking decapitates him. Like, I look at that and I'm like, damn.
And then apparently Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie Strode dies in Resurrection, which a lot of people were not happy about.
Wasn't that the movie that had Busta Rhymes?
Yes.
Oh God. Jesus.
Oh, they kill Vivica A. Fox. No, you gotta kill the hot black chick, but oh no, you'll keep the annoying rapper alive.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? And you know what's funny? Even though it's the main theme for Dead Island, I think "Who Do You Voodoo Bitch" should be Michael Myers' main theme. Cause it's like, holy shit, he comes up in the most randomest ass times. Like, literally, I think the funniest death scene in Resurrection is that he kills a camera guy who's staring directly at him the whole time, just paralyzed with fear, not moving, while Michael Myers is moving at like 2 miles per millisecond. He's moving at the speed of rickshaw, and he just slowly impales the guy with a metal spike. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I could have went over, punched Michael Myers in the face, grabbed that rod, gave him a colonoscopy, and then have enough time to be able to make myself a cup of hot tea.
Yep. Well, Steve, I kind of think that's all we can say on the subject.
I think we've just I think we just fucking went not only all over the place, I think we didn't even talk all that much about Halloween. I think half of this video we spent just dicking around talking about nothing.
No, I think we talked. I think we talked a good bit about the original movie, but then we sort of started talking about like the entire franchise, the entire Halloween series as a whole.
Yeah, that, I guess in a way, yeah, we did.
Yeah. Final thoughts. If there are any new horror movie fans out there, if there are any like young kids out there who are watching this who have never actually seen the original Halloween, then just do yourself a massive favor and go see it. It's really worth checking out. It's really a joy. It's really a joyful. I wouldn't. It's really a very enjoyable movie to watch.
And
Just
on top of that, it's classic horror, and it's like, really, you can't call yourself a horror movie fan unless you've at least heard if you've at least heard of the classics.
yeah,
And you know what? Halloween is at the very top of that list alongside the original Friday the 13th, alongside, Psycho, on top of just many of the other films that have just made the horror movie genre what it is today. And even on the occasion, as, myself and Ian do, talking about the lesser talked about, horror movies that are actually kick ass or are just absurdly funny and ridiculous and over the top.
yeah, like Pumpkinhead.
Or Basket Case.
Yep.
Or even, for that matter, Bad Taste. Or Brain Damage.
You know,
Or Street Trash.
I actually, that's actually one movie I think I may do a B movie theater about is Bad Taste.
Yeah, especially after you talked about that ending scene with Peter Jackson. I still want to see that. As over the top and disgusting as it is.
Yep. Well, everybody, that's been our collaborative B movie theater on the original Halloween and all of its numerous sequels.
And just us, I guess, divulging into a little bit of 1970s horror and like fun random ass trivia facts and what have you. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it for this, collaborative deal. Hopefully everybody's enjoying your Halloween, and hopefully maybe next year, we'll do another video series like this and maybe talk about another franchise. So, yeah, I guess pretty much just end it with what, happy Halloween, and, don't, put yourself in like a sugar-induced coma.
Yeah, don't eat too much Halloween candy. And, oh wait, gotta, you know what you need to do for the end of this video? You need to have Tom Atkins from Halloween 3 going, "Stop it!"
Well, we'll wait and see.
Alright, take care everybody. Have a good Halloween. Treat all the trick-or-treaters nice. Don't eat too much candy. See you later.
And remember to check under the bed and the closet for the boogeyman.
Yep.
Alright, happy Halloween, everyone.
Alright, yeah, later.